as the holder of the crown, gets to come up and talk to you about who gets to hold the crown next, or wear the crown next year.
This is the sculpture last year.
Peyton Bill. You're all-handed. You're all-handed.
Thank you, Bob. Close enough to hear? Everybody here? Those of you who don't want to hear it, get out of the room.
Just like when you do karaoke.
There we go. So I thought one of the things that we should do, given that this is sometimes a mysterious topic, is I'm going to emphasize transparency. I'm going to tell you all how this whole discussion went and what went on during the deliberations on who should acquire the crown next. And so the first candidate, I'll refer to them as the secret nominating committee. The secret nominating committee talks about several people who have accomplished various things in golf over the year and decides whether they are indeed worthy of such an honor. And there are a set of rules that the secret nominating committee does follow. The first rule number one, is Pat O'Brien must be nominated. So, unfortunately, Pat is not here, but he does know that he was nominated. We did look at Pat's performance, and during the performance, it was the highlight of Pat's year was his performance in the two-man team and the bracket with Ferris. They won their bracket, and that was an impressive accomplishment. But at the same time, we also found out that Pat had engaged Sam Lee, one of our fine assistant professionals who's on his honeymoon right now, on the lesson tee because Pat's game had gone south. And it was interesting because as they were on the tee during that time, Fagan had the observation of the moment when he said that he thought that their first session would have involved a couch where Pat could have some counseling about some repressed anger issues, etc. But that eliminated Pat from the consideration. So we moved on to the second candidate, who was Ferris. And Ferris, as you know, handed me the crown last year. Ferris had another unbelievably impressive year on the golf course, highlighted by his championship in the Osage Classic, our member guest tournament. And that was a very, very impressive performance. And as the committee evaluated that performance, there came to light the fact that he had actually had his son, Chris, participate with him as the guest in that two-man championship. And the committee, the secret nominating committee, looked at the performance, and there was a bit of worry about whether honoring Ferris again based upon Chris's performance was really appropriate or not. And some of the people said, well, you know, if you've got a talented son, shouldn't that be something to consider? And we talked about Mike Sabo and Mike's talented children. Both his son and daughter are accomplished golfers, and we said, well, we don't want to name Mike, so that probably knocks Ferris out too. So we took Ferris off the table and moved into the third candidate, who is Steve LaFera. And Steve, yeah, that was a general reaction. Oh. Now, Steve had a phenomenal year, dropped his handicap all the way down to a 5, which was very impressive, the lowest handicap of all the dew sweepers. And someone said, well, that should be something that should be considered. And somebody else asked, well, what has he won? What did he win? And the answer turned out to be a lot of dew sweeper money, which he continues to hold very tightly. But at this point, he's not shared any of those winnings or bought anybody any cocktails to celebrate his good fortune. And ultimately, when it was revealed that he has no titles for the year, he simply won dew sweeper money. That was one reason he was potentially out. But then the second reason was he frequently parks this little white Mercedes in a spot on the parking lot where a black Porsche Boxster belongs. And that instantly dropped him out, and so he was out. He was finished. So the group moved on. They said, well, perhaps we should look at a non-traditional award winner, and they said, let's look at the McSweeney-Fagan two-man team. They've been a traditional powerhouse in the two-man team competition, and maybe we should look at how they did this year. And we said, wait, McSweeney dumped Fagan. Just left him at the altar for stew scrolls. And then it was discovered that Fagan had caused the breakup of our own Larry West two-man partner with Bill Stobbs, and they had become partners. And this sordid behavior of both of these guys disqualified each of them from consideration. So then, ultimately, it came down to a couple of last candidates, one being myself.
Imagine that.
You already had a turn.
The hat fits. No. The secret nominating committee made me leave the room while my qualifications were discussed. And when they called me back in, they said that I had a very, very incredible year, but they wanted to let me know that if there was a back-to-back winner, there was going to have to be a major investment by that back-to-back winner in a new and improved trophy for the Dew Sweeper of the Year. And unfortunately, since all of my money is in LaFara's pocket, I declined and withdrew my nomination. So that left us with the final candidate, the last candidate. And you know, when you're looking for something and you can't find it, and you look and you look and you look, and you find it in the last place you looked. Well, that's what we found in this particular situation. The last place we looked was our candidate. And our candidate who won had an incredible year. A couple of his accomplishments included the championship of the stroke play championship in A flight. He was the winner of that the entire year. He also won the senior division stroke play championship, another incredible accomplishment. He carried his two-man partner deep into the bracket in the two-man.
He did.
There is no doubt about that. Well, again, LaFara has a low handicap, but did he win anything? No. So anyway, the other thing that was considered was this candidate has a real affinity for odd headwear. You all may have seen his Crocodile Dundee hat that he wears on a frequent occasion. If you are so inclined as to play golf this winter, you may indeed see his Elmer Fudd cap. It's a hunter's cap with ear flaps that come down. And so if you look at someone who is obviously willing to wear just about anything as far as headwear is concerned, you'll join me in welcoming our 2019 Dew Sweeper Player of the Year, Blake Christus.
Speech!
No, he's got to work on one for next year.
Now, the incredible thing is, Blake and I wound up playing in the last round of the championship in the stroke play. I was also with John Riggs and John Fagan, and it was the first time in my life that I was ever the tallest golfer in a group of four. Now for a couple of short words, Blake Christus.
Bill, I know a good psychiatrist that can help you with your multiple personality disorder.
Thank you.
I thought you retired.
Bill, you're not finished. But
See the fit, Blake.
it's not gonna fit. It was on Bill's head. It's gonna go right over mine. He's got a much larger position in this club than I do. I don't have anything to say, but I don't know why or how I earned it, and
And you got a year to come up with next year's speech.
and I've got a year to come up with next year's speech. Okay,
It'll look good on top of your hat, though.
it's not gonna fit too well.
Put your hat on first, and then
Maybe I can, yeah, I can put a bigger band in there. That'll do it. So yeah, I'll thank you very much, and I appreciate the honor. Thank you.